Letitia James is now being referred for prosecution because she allegedly engaged in some kind of mortgage fraud. This is a story just out. The Trump administration referring New York's Attorney General Letitia James for possible prosecution over allegations of mortgage fraud. So what is being alleged here is that she claimed her home was in Virginia, that was her primary residence, and that her father was her husband. Are you kidding me? Like, we thought, Omar was kind of out there, right? And now Letitia James is being accused of this. This is totally wild. So the FHFA, this is the Federal Housing Director, William Pulte, sent a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi that Letitia James appears to have falsified records to meet certain lending requirements and received favorable loan terms as a result. Now, gosh darn it, wasn't that kind of like what she alleged went down between Deutsche Bank and Donald Trump? She's saying, you got favorable loan rates from Deutsche Bank because you inflated the square footage on your house. I mean, this might be just a little bit worse, because if she's actually getting federal housing guarantees of some sort, then she may really find herself in hot water. Pulte cited a property in Virginia that James allegedly claimed as her principal residence, and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of 5. Technicality, right? Kind of like square footage, I guess, which he said could mean she was able to get a different and more favorable loan. In response, a spokesperson for James's office said this morning that she has been, of course, focused every single day on protecting New Yorkers, especially as this administration weaponizes the federal government. What the heck do you think you did, lady? I mean, like pot calling kettle here. I mean, they actually may have a reason to go after you. You, on the other hand, you still have an outstanding order, right? The judge wants $500 million from Donald Trump, and the interest keeps growing every single day. Anyway, she's saying that the administration has weaponized the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. She will not be intimidated by the bullies, no matter who they are. Gosh, how many times have we heard that from her? She came out and was speaking today, and I'll tell you, she looks nervous. I want to show you. I mean, she looks, and to me, sounds very nervous. And you know what? Heck, she ought to be.
My mission is clear. I'm focused. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University that overturned legal segregation in this country. I've been taught in those classrooms where Thurgood Marshall once taught. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up for you. We're fighting on. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. And I'm not waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest. Come on, ladies. It's up to us. We saved this democracy before. We'll save it now. Let's go.
Oh, boy. Okay. So, again, she's the one in trouble now. Okay, I realize she wants to still go after him, and we'll get to the insider trading thing that she's alleging, which is just bonkers, but she's in trouble. We reported on this a while back. So Roger Stone, if you recall, in February, it's Roger Stone, but anyway, he came out and said, and he's pretty rabid in terms of wanting to go after Tish James. He said she's in deep, deep trouble, basically campaign finance fraud he accused her of, personal financial fraud, that may be the mortgage stuff we were just talking about, and a cover-up of an alleged assault that's going to take her down. So when he talked about the mortgage fraud and the campaign finance fraud, he was talking about what we just mentioned there, and that now the Federal Housing Authority is going after. And then in terms of campaign finance fraud, there was this one, Letitia James and Working Families Party, luxury travel and creative accounting. Apparently, they had some really creative accounting, because they were getting to work out of none other than Martha's Vineyard in July or August. Martha's Vineyard, not bad, right? And you say that your office or your hotel is your office. So were they paying for her vacations? It kind of sounds like that. So that was one article that had come out in late December. And again, Roger Stone alluding to the mortgage issue that was going down. I looked through some of that documentation, and I'll tell you that FHFA, they're onto something here. They believe that she may have fraudulently misrepresented where she lived, as well as who her father was. I mean, that one I didn't expect. I got to tell you guys, like that one I really didn't expect. We'll see what comes out on that. But Letitia James, suffice it to say, has just met her match, if you would, in this Trump administration, because they're not going to take it, even though she's out there saying, well, I'm going to go after him, right? I'm going to go after him with this new suit. I'm going to go after him with insider trading, because guess what? He's the one that said we're going to have these tariffs. And then he came out with a 90-day pause. New York Post reporting that, yes, indeed, they're looking into going after him for insider trading because he came out and paused the tariffs. And she thinks that was to help his friends because he was out there, well, telling everybody, look, come on, if you're doing insider trading, you don't go and tweet out to the whole world, great time to buy. You really wouldn't be doing that if you think about it, right? Because you're just like actually telling everyone insider trading is like you're just telling your friends. No, he told the world. And by the way, keep in mind, the darn market is way down today. So it's not as though if you went in at that time, you were going to have some panacea of growth. It's kind of out there, but listen, they're grasping at straws, and AOC is on board as well.
Trump seems to be doing, from tweeting people to buy stock and then later announcing his development on taxes. If people are pissed about insider trading here at the House, look at what's happening at the White House right now and with the Republican Party.
Do you think he knew what he was doing when he sent out that message about stocks before he made the announcement?
It sure seemed like he did. I don't think that it was a coincidence. I don't think that Trump just coincidentally said buy stocks and then shortly later made an announcement that dramatically inflated and dramatically raised a lot of these asset prices. And, I've heard murmurings on the floor that there may have been people that knew that this was coming. And I'm very interested in seeing some of the stock disclosures that come out when those reports are due. And I'm very interested in what members of Congress have been buying and trading stocks in the last 24 hours prior to this tariff announcement.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. I don't think it's really going to help you much when you've got now the FHFA referring her for criminal prosecution. Criminal prosecution, okay? This is a big deal, guys. Because this is serious fraud on a serious level. Trump administration referring New York Attorney General Letitia James for possible criminal prosecution. Okay, we get some more news coming in on this as we speak right now. This fresh off the presses here, coming to us out of the publication The Hill. The FHFA has now made a criminal referral to the Justice Department against New York Attorney General Letitia James, arguing she had a Virginia home that was her primary residence in order to secure more favorable loan terms. Quote, based on media reports, Ms. Letitia James has in multiple instances falsified bank documents and property records to acquire government-backed assistance and loans on more profitable, or favorable, I should say, loan terms, according to the agency, which is writing to Pam Bondi in this criminal referral. Quote, at the time of the 2023 Norfolk, Virginia property purchase and mortgage, Ms. James was sitting Attorney General of New York and is required by law to have her primary residence in the state of New York, even though her mortgage application lists her intent to have Norfolk, Virginia property as her primary home. The referral asks for a criminal investigation, of course, as we just explained. Don't forget, she actually went after Donald Trump civilly. So if you think about this, this is like, she's in more hot water. It was bad enough that, she wanted to bankrupt the guy. But in this case, she's actually doing something that is alleged to be quite worse. I mean, I just, it's sort of this weird poetic justice, if you would, right? The crime that she is now being potentially prosecuted for criminally. I mean, that is what she was going after Donald Trump for civilly. So she's going to have to face some music. So it makes sense to me that she is really nervous, and she's trying to figure out like how she fights back in this environment. And she's up against a wall, if you would. I mean, you could hear it in her voice just a couple of weeks ago. This was moments before the Supreme Court basically told her, sorry, Tish, you don't have a leg to stand on here as far as the DEI money goes. All that federal money that she was using for programs that the administration deemed to be not in basically sync with the Constitution of the United States. She wasn't going to have money for it anymore, and she kind of lost it. Like really, really lost it, you know.
Again, I apologize. Listen.
You have to turn it up a little bit.
57 years after the assassination of Dr. King. And Dr. King talked about that stone of hope. And it's that stone of hope that gives me a fire in my belly each and every morning. It's that stone of hope that allows me to wake up and to stand to Donald Trump and to say, Donald Trump, I'm not afraid of you. It's that stone of hope. It's that stone of hope that gives me power. That's that stone of hope and the belief in each and every one of you to let you know that I'm not going to allow my ancestors, all of those who died for me, to be in this position. I am not going to disgrace them and disappoint them. I am going to use the law both as a sword and as a shield and challenge Donald Trump. And each and every time he issues an illegal executive order, I am going to stand up to him because he represents to me sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. And so DEI, as far as I am concerned, is more than about just black people. Let's be honest.
That's right.
DEI is about paid parental leave. DEI is about disabled children. DEI includes a number of categories. So when they talk about DEI, let them know that they're not only coming after us, but they're coming after all of us. And we've got to stand together, stand in community, stand with this great organization under the leadership of our civil rights leader, Reverend Al Sharpton, who has been a light, a bright and shining light in the darkness. But I don't know about you. It's that stone of hope that inspires me each and every day. And listen, faith and fear can never share the same space. And so I'm covered by the blood. And I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. You can come after me, but no enemy, nothing formed against me will perish. Nothing formed against me. Nothing formed against me. Nothing formed against me.
All right. Got off those face. And you thought you could preach, huh?
Okay. This is some serious trouble, though. I mean, I got to say. So she was apparently caught up with by New York Post. New York Post was outside her door trying to get her to answer some questions. She refused to answer any of them. It's really rather remarkable. I mean, you think about how she was out there trying to do anything she could to take Donald Trump down. And she was using this bizarre, like, I'm going to get in between a case or a business transaction between a bank and an individual. And the threat that represents, frankly, to the economy overall was massive, because who the heck wants to do business in the state of New York if you have potentially an attorney general like Letitia James breathing down your back saying, oh, well, I'm gonna just look at every single little last thing you did, even if your bank is happy, even if you're happy, even if everybody made money on the transaction, and you even go into depositions and into court and you hear from Deutsche Bank that they're perfectly happy with what went down. Again, everybody made money, you had no victim, but she wasted time and resources and taxpayer dollars trying to take down Trump, because that's what she ran on, right? Remember all the too male, too pale, too stale stuff? That was Letitia James. And now what's actually coming back to haunt her is, a situation where she may have really and truly actually misrepresented certain things. And we'll see what comes out here. Again, this federal housing, trying to say that she has, in fact, falsified records and falsified documents. And that's, I got to tell you guys, like, that is a big deal. Okay, so if she does what they allege that she did, then she's going to have some serious problems, because you can't say, oh, I live in this state in order to get a better mortgage rate when you actually live in the state of New York. I mean, heck, you're AG in New York. You don't think anybody's going to figure that one out? And then to try and say that your father was your husband, I mean, that one, I don't even know. I don't even know how to comment on that, because this is, according to a Fox News report, and they're sourcing this letter, shall we say, that has been used as a referral. So these documents, if you would, against Letitia James, quite damning indeed. We had heard earlier in the year from Roger Stone, who alluded to some of this, but I got to say, like, this is, if you're misrepresenting yourself on mortgage applications while you're the Attorney General of New York, I think you're going to have a problem. Really, you cannot falsify records in this case. So she's going to keep saying, oh, I'm doing this, that, and the other, and I'm going to go after him for insider trading. Honey, good luck. Like, good luck with that. Because these guys mean business. And Pam Bondi now has the power to move forward, and apparently some evidence to move forward against one Letitia James. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, she's going to do it. She's really and truly going to do it. Wow. And Letitia can go on about insider trading all she wants. Good luck, as I said, with that market way down today. We're going to talk about gold coming up a little bit later in the show. I do want to get to Pete Hegseth and the turmoil going on at the Pentagon. But before I do, remember that we are fully independent here on this show. So we are very thankful for some of our sponsors. I love gold. I've talked about gold forever. I've been telling you to buy it ever since I started the show. I want to say it was back around $1,400 back then. Oh, aren't you happy if you took my advice? Take a look at this. Gold at up, 3.5% today? This is just wild. Again, we'll get into it a little bit more later in the show, but you can see that there is a real flight to safety going on right now. Up nearly 5%, $3,353 an ounce. You got Goldman Sachs saying it could be $4,000. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I really wouldn't. Gold is one of those things I love to own because it helps for inflation. It helps when, you're faced with some kind of Armageddon or say tariffs, etc. So when there's uncertainty in the world, people like gold, also central banks all around the world are totally moving towards gold because there's increased uncertainty about the U.S. and treasuries and trade, etc. So we'll dig in a little bit deeper because the Federal Reserve Chief, Jerome Powell, came out with some rather damning comments today that caused investors to sell off and caused gold, of course, to move even higher. I was at a book club last night and we were talking about gold, and my friend from book club, she messaged me, she's like, this morning, Trish, it's up 2.5%. And I'm like, yeah. And then you look at it now, it's up 3.5%. So again, I'm not trying to make a quick buck or anything on gold. I just think it's one of those things you want for stability in your portfolio. Our friends at American Heart for Gold can help you out. Just go to trishlovesgold.com, trishlovesgold.com today for more information, or text my name, Trish, T-R-I-S-H, to 65532, 1-844-495-1115 is their number. And the reason this is extra special great right now is because silver has been also tracking higher, and you get up to $15,000 with qualifying offers there at trishlovesgold.com. Hard to forget, kind of has a nice ring to it.